What do a city that danced itself sick, a war fought and lost against birds, and a flood of sticky syrup through Boston's streets all have in common? They're three of the strangest, forgotten events in history. Today we're diving into the dancing plague of 1518, the Great Emu War of 1932, and the Great Molasses Flood of 1919. Three unbelievable stories that really happened. Let's start with Strasbourg, France, in the summer of 1518. One woman stepped into the town square and began dancing. Hours passed, then days, and she still hadn't stopped. Soon, dozens of others joined her. By the end of the month, hundreds were caught up in the same bizarre frenzy. The square filled with staggering bodies, some collapsing, others rising again to dance. At first, the city tried music, thinking it would cure them, but the musicians only fueled the chaos. Families watched in horror as neighbours twitched and spun uncontrollably. Healers tried prayers, bloodletting, and herbs, but nothing worked. Imagine entire streets filled with exhausted dancers, pounding their feet against cobblestones day and night as if possessed. Some historians believe it was ergot poisoning from mouldy rye bread. Others argue it was mass hysteria triggered by stress, famine, and disease. Whatever the cause, the dancing plague of 1518 remains one of the most haunting medical mysteries of the Middle Ages. Now jump forward to Western Australia in 1932, where farmers faced an enemy unlike any other, emus. After World War I, veterans were given farmland, but swarms of giant flightless birds descended on their crops, tearing fields apart. Farmers begged the government for help, and soldiers with rifles and Lewis machine guns were dispatched. What followed became known as the Great Emu War. The first battles were humiliating. Emus scattered in small groups, sprinting too fast for the soldiers to track. Machine guns jammed, trucks broke down, and the birds seemed almost untouchable. For every emu that fell, dozens more escaped. Newspapers mocked the entire affair, and soon the campaign became a national joke. The government eventually gave up, leaving the farmers to build fences instead. In the end, Australia officially lost a war to birds. The Emu War remains a surreal reminder that sometimes nature cannot be beaten by brute force, no matter how many bullets you fire. Finally, let's travel to Boston, January 15th, 1919. In the crowded North End, a massive steel tank held more than 2 million gallons of molasses. Workers had noticed leaks, but nothing was done. That winter afternoon, the tank suddenly ruptured with a thunderous roar. A 25-foot wave of thick, sticky molasses burst into the streets at 35 miles per hour. Wooden houses splintered, a steel train bridge buckled, horses and wagons were swallowed in an instant. Townsfolk tried to flee, but their boots stuck fast in the syrupy flood. Firefighters rushed in, but wading through waist-deep molasses turned every step into a struggle. By the time it ended, entire blocks were buried under a brown ocean. Cleanup lasted months, and survivors swore that on hot summer days, the smell of molasses lingered in the air for decades. In court, the company blamed sabotage, but investigators proved it was negligence. The Great Molasses Flood stands as one of the strangest urban disasters in American history, and a warning about what happens when profit is valued over safety. The dancing plague, the Emu War, the Molasses Flood. Three forgotten disasters that sound like legends, but left very real scars. They remind us that history isn't only kings and empires. Sometimes it's the absurd, the tragic, and the unexpected that shape our world. If you enjoyed this journey into the strange corners of the past, subscribe for more forgotten history, and tell me in the comments which of these events shocked you the most.